Terra, horror film from Sony that just hit theaters this previous Friday. The film is co-directed. One of the directors, Spencer Cohen, is coming off writing screenplays for films like Expendables 4, as well as for Netflix film Extinction and Moonfall. This is both these two co-directors, their first feature film as a duo in the director's chair. This film is about 7 college kids who will go out to a mansion by themselves for the weekend to celebrate one of their friends' birthdays. The 7 friends are Jacob Batalon, who plays Paxton, Paige, played by Avantika, Haley, played by Harriet Slater, Madeline, played by Umberly Gonzalez, Elise, played by Larson Thompson, Grant, played by Adane Bradley, and Lucas, played by Wolfgang Novogratz. But what they do is, for fun, play a game of tarot, but when they leave this mansion for the weekend, head back to become college students once again, they unknowingly unleash a cursed deck of tarot cards, which leads them one by one coming face to face with their fate of death. The film is an hour and 32 minutes and is PG-13. Welcome back to a brand new review. I'm Max Tindenberg. Welcome back to Max Talks Movies. If new to the channel, please subscribe, ring that bell for notifications so you're notified when my videos drop here on the channel. I talk movies, TV shows, and box office. So please, if you like any one of those things, please subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Tons of videos coming out daily during the summer, so please tune in for that. We're so close, under 5 subscribers away from 200. So please hit that subscribe button and let's get us to 200 subscribers. Comment down below. First of all, have you even heard of this movie? If you've seen it, did you like it? Did you not like it? If you have not seen it, tell me why have you not seen it? As I said, have you even heard of this movie? Also, please like the video, the thumbs up button. So I've already done an out of theater reaction. So any movie that I see in the theater that's new, I do an out of theater reaction for now. I love doing it. You've seen you guys are enjoying it as well. So I already did my general thoughts, 1-minute review of the movie. So this will be my full-fledged review. And what I'm going to say is this is not a good movie. And I had no positive expectations for the movie. One, I saw the trailers over the last month or two being in the theater every week, and that's the only way I could see the movie be promoted. I watch TV, cable all the time and YouTube all the time, and these ads just never were popping up. The only time I would see anything about this film would be in the movie theater before a movie I was about to see. Number 2, the critic reviews were not good, and I obviously saw this a bit later than Friday. So I saw a little bit of, not like read reviews, but I saw some scores from people, very low scores. And then also just no one was talking about it this weekend. Obviously, Fall Guy garners a lot of headlines, so did Phantom Menace this past weekend, but Tarot did not. So I was just, let's just see if this movie could surprise me based off the low expectations that I put in place, and it did not. It's a bad, one of the most by-the-numbers, generic checkbox horror films that you'll ever see, because this concept could have been a really good idea, not just for a horror film, but for a horror franchise. If the right world building was done here around the cards and who created the cards. But the movie misses the boat. Now, what I will say from a positive perspective is that when you actually see the designs of some of these characters, like the magician, for example, a lot of these creatures or the thing that our killer is transforming into is actually pretty cool. Some of the designs are very cool, very creepy, especially, as I said, the magician, and I forget, and the jackal in particular were really fascinating to look at and breathtaking actually to look at, made it for a lot more of an engaging scene. And also, again, what I respect about the movie is that the movie knows exactly what it is, which is the first 10 minutes is exposition, hoopla, hoopla, hoopla. Who are these people? They're at a birthday party, and they get right into the tarot game, like 5 to 10 minutes into the movie, and they're gone, and the kills start so early in the movie. I just felt like this concept and the way the movie was structured should have been more of like a 15 to 30-minute short film than I think a 1 hour and 30-minute full feature film. Because I think the problem here is you can do this type of movie for a full-fledged movie, but because they want to get into the kills so quickly, you just don't care about any of the characters. I mean, this might be, and I think it is so far this year, the most forgettable set of characters I have seen in a movie this year. I mean, these are forgettable, just college kids who are friends. Other than Jacob Batalon, who obviously, if you know, is Ned from the Spider-Man movies. He's the most famous person. Him and Avantika, who's just in Mean Girls, they're the two most famous people in the cast by far. And other than Babylon just doing Ned, except he smokes weed, other than that, there were just no distinct characters in the movie other than the one person. Of course, it has to be one person in this group who's good at horoscopes and can read tarot cards. Of course, out of this whole group, there's one person who's very good at that. And that's why we have a movie, and that is Haley, played by Harriet Slater. Um, it's just a generic bunch of characters. And the problem with that is once the movie goes one by one on the kills, first of all, it's not scary. Of course, the music has to go down so you know exactly what's going to happen. And when these people are dead, you don't either care if they're alive or dead. You're just kind of just observing. And I think the movie needed you to be on the edge of your seat, either excited to see some of these people get killed or scared or nervous that one of these characters is going to get killed. But you were never on the edge of your seat because you just didn't care. I didn't care about any of the characters in this film. It's just a generic movie. It checks all the boxes of let's set up a little exposition. We got to find an expert on tarot cards. I feel like every horror movie now, when there's a MacGuffin, like a card or a demon, something like that, all of the kids in the movie have to look up an expert, and they find an expert. It takes them 2 seconds to find the expert in this movie, who's played by, hopefully I'm saying her name, Olwen Furore. Definitely not saying her name right, but she's like the expert of the tarot cards in the movie. And I think the biggest missed opportunity is with the actual killer of the movie, because the backstory of the tarot card being cursed was actually really interesting, but the movie is rushing right through it to get to the next kill scene. It just loses all gravity, and it's all done in an exposition dump scene. It doesn't feel just, again, I think the movie could have done a lot better world building. Obviously, it's a regular college and they're throwing cursed tarot cards at it, but the world building of how long these cards have been around for, other than us being told and not visually seeing it, I think was a big problem. Another big problem for me is that this is PG-13. I think if the characters were going to be this bad, I would have rather just seen them being killed in the most violent ways possible. But of course, this movie chooses to go PG-13. As I said, horror PG-13, and I've said it a billion times, is not always bad. But these types of movies where the characters are not that deep, the plot isn't that deep, and the movie just wants to get to kill after kill after kill, I'm cool with that. I'm cool for a fun type of slasher-like horror film. But this movie goes for PG-13. I think there's like one time where it's like that really stretched the PG-13 rank. The rest of them were easily PG-13. And I wish all of the kills were R, because at least it would have made the movie pop a little more than it did. So overall, just not too many thoughts. It's pretty a forgettable, generic film. There's some really lackluster performances in the movie. I don't want to say who, but just a couple of just lackluster performances. You don't care about anyone in the movie, and it's going to be one of the most forgettable movies by far and away that I'll see this year. So I'm going to give Tarot a 1 out of 5 stars. I'm going to go 23% for Tarot. What are your thoughts on Tarot? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you guys.